Welcome to Real American Ghosts, the place where your nightmares become reality. Sit back and turn out the lights and listen to some real ghost encounters. And remember, don't look behind you.
Hello, my spooky people, and welcome to Real American Ghosts. This channel is all about the paranormal and the creepy events that happen to people just like you. So if you've had an experience and you want to share it, send it to realamericanghosts@gmail.com and we'll get it on the show. Our first story comes from Mel and his creepy bootman. I was 18 years old and there was a lot of emotional turmoil in my life at that time. I had been sent to live with my aunt. The backstory isn't relevant on a personal level, I don't think. But my aunt and cousins had told me for years that there was a ghost in their house. I had never taken it seriously. Mistake on my part. I was more interested in girls at that age than the paranormal. But soon many nights in that house would shake my perception of the paranormal when I was there 24/7. The very first experience was a night when I woke up suddenly for no apparent reason. As I searched my senses and the sounds and my surroundings for a reason, I heard footsteps in the hall. Slow, leisurely footsteps from cowboy boots, not dress shoes. With cowboy boots, the heel hits solid, and the toe slap is more pronounced than with dress shoes. Funny little fact I picked up listening to the sound of shoes and the way the steps of each type sounds. Weird, but something I found interesting. As I heard these footsteps, they passed the bedroom door which myself and my cousin Junior shared. Then the bathroom light at the end of the hall started switching on and off. I thought about getting up and seeing who was doing such a silly thing as playing with the light switch, but I didn't. For some reason I thought it might be my uncle. He wore boots and was a truck driver that had dedicated night runs. Had I thought about it further in my fogged up brain being half asleep, I would have known it couldn't have been him. He was on a run and not anywhere near the house. The light continued to switch on and off continuously through this event. The steps began to return back up the hall. They stopped outside our bedroom door. In the intermittent light, off and on sequences, I could see the shadow of those feet under the door standing there. This is where I get freaked out. They just stood there for what seemed to me a half hour with the light going on, and off. All the while my cousin was sleeping away with nothing the wiser. I thought about waking him up, but I was transfixed. Tunnel vision as you might expect in that situation. Then the door handle rattled, audibly. The thought briefly passed through my mind that it had to be one of my female cousins trying to scare me. I put that away because then the door handle turned and the stick of the latch sounded, but the door didn't open immediately. This sounds a lot like a bad Hollywood movie, but it happened this way, I swear on my soul. Then the door started to open, so god-awful slowly. The light, on, off, on, and off. It opened halfway. You'd think you would see the shadow of whomever was there on the wall in the intermittent light. At least the shadow of the arm opening the door, since I had seen the shadow of the feet under the door. But there was nothing there. The door was shielding whomever was opening it, and the light was coming from the wrong angle. No one came in, and no one announced themselves. Then the right side door of the double door closet began creaking, opened slowly, achingly slow. It was at this point I realized what was going on. Even though I was telling myself, as we all do, this isn't real. This can't be happening. That's when the obvious fear and reaction began. My reaction was classic in every detail. The covers came up to eye level, my eyes big as saucers, and I was starting to hyperventilate. But I couldn't look away, no matter how hard I tried. The closet door opened halfway just as the bedroom door had, creating about a 2-inch gap in the intermittent light, and a shadow passed into the closet. It wasn't solid. I could see through it. There was no definition or detail, but it was there. I saw it. Then the interesting thing happened to end the event. The bedroom door closed and latched slowly, followed by the closet door. The light stopped flashing on and off, and I was left totally bewildered and in possession of an adrenaline overload, as you might expect. This was my first experience with the ghost in that house, and my first experience up close and personal with the world of the paranormal. Thank you, Mel. It seems that ghosts have a fascination for turning lights on and off. And this next story is no exception. Dave's story. At the time, this scared me to death, but now it's kind of funny. This all happened shortly after my father passed away in March of 2001, making me 37 years old. I had purchased my first home 2 years prior and lived alone. My home was a 2-story, and half was vaulted to the roof, while the other half had a skyway which had lots of dark zones that I would sometimes catch things out of the corner of my eye moving. Anyways, in the corner of the master bedroom, I had an inexpensive rotating and reclining chair. My uninvited guest started with this chair. I remember waking up hearing noises of movement from the chair. In the beginning, it was slow, but later, when I heard the noise, I would wait and listen to the noise and open my eyes quickly and actually see the chair move. I didn't know what to think. I was always that guy who said, if that stuff happens at our house, we're moving. I'll file bankruptcy. As a high-tech professional, I live in a world where everything is explainable. So nothing happens for a month or so, and I forget about the chair. One Saturday night, my overhead ceiling fan combo light turns on in the middle of the night. I had been out that night with the guys and thought I forgot to turn it off. So I grab the remote and turn it off. A week or so later, the light comes on again on a weekday. Now I live an hour from the design center factory and I work 12-hour days, so when I get home, I have less than 10 hours to do chores, eat, catch part of a game, and sleep. So I don't party midweek. So I'm starting to think, what the hell? Now activity is starting to ramp up. The lights start going on and off every night. I installed all these fans. I'm thinking I might have a short. The following weekend I pulled the ceiling fan light apart and it's clean. All connections have wire nuts and wrapped with electrical tape. No wire strands anywhere. Must be the remote. So I took the batteries out of the remote and tossed it in the nightstand. 3 days later, on a weeknight, the light comes on again. And the fan. I get up and turn both off, and before I get back in the bed, the light comes on again. Now, I'm spooked. Next night, same thing, only this time I speak to my unwanted friends, and I tell them, I'm really tired and stop messing with me tonight, okay? And all activity stops. Weekend comes and I wake up to the light is on and now my bed's shaking. This time when I open my eyes, I see 3 dark shadows at the foot of my bed, and I hear laughter. I go downstairs, grab myself a cold adult beverage, turn on ESPN and watch some repeat of a college game. This goes on a couple more nights, and now the chair is in action too. So the ceiling fan light is on, bed is shaking, and chairs making noises from movement, and I hear laughter. I don't know why, but I tell them my story, and it basically went like this. I calmly look to the foot of my bed as I'm walking to turn the light off, and I say, "Come on, guys, I have to work tomorrow." I drive an hour to work a 12 to 13 hour shift, and then I drive home, plus a lunch. That's a long day. I tell you what, this is a brand new neighborhood. Why don't you all go say hello to the neighbors, and then when you get back here, you can start again. How does that sound? I kill the lights and go to sleep. And that was the last I heard of them. No jokes, I swear it. All of this activity was probably less than 6 months. And one last item of importance. When my father passed, I was away back home on the farm for over 5 weeks. While I was out, I had asked a couple neighbors I trusted to keep an eye on my home from the outside. When I talked to them, they thought I was away for 2 weeks, because every night the lights in the spare bedroom and office were on or would cycle off and on. They each said once in a while late at night, but for the most part at reasonable times of the evening. Everything was in place. Nothing moved, broken, or stolen. When I asked my mom, she wouldn't talk about it. Actually, she refused to even listen. Things that make you shake your head. Oh, by the way, I moved 2 years later. Dave.